Hi students, good morning to one and all. Welcome to our class Biological Science. So in the previous class, we have discussed about excretion. So what are the excretory organs in the human body? What are the parts that are present in it and their structure? Okay, we have completely discussed about the excretory system. Okay, the kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, what are the parts that are present inside and the structure and function. After that, we discussed about the dialysis. Now, I am going to explain about other excretory organs in the different organisms. Okay, now, what are the other excretory organs in the different organisms? Different organisms use varied strategies in excretion. Different organisms use different types of organs for their excretion. Generally, in simple cellular organisms, there is no specific excretory organ. Okay, so in simple cellular or unicellular organisms, the waste materials are removed by the simple process diffusion. What is the process? Diffusion. Okay, now unicellular. In unicellular organisms, the waste materials are removed from the body by process diffusion from the body surface into the surrounding water. Do you understand here? By the diffusion process. Freshwater organisms like amoeba and paramecium, they possess osmoregulatory organelles called contractile vacuoles. So, in this amoeba and paramecium, okay, what are their osmoregulatory organelles? Osmoregulatory organelle called contractile vacuole. What is that? Contractile vacuoles. Okay, in simple cellular organisms, freshwater organisms like amoeba and paramecium, they possess osmoregulatory organelle called contractile vacuole. What's its function? Contractile vacuole collects the waste from the body and reaches to the collects the waste from the body and bulges, reaches to the surface, burst and thrown it outside. You understand? The osmoregulatory organelle called contractile vacuole present in the freshwater organisms like amoeba and paramecium. It collects the waste from the body, swells up and reaches to the cell surface, burst and thrown or get rid of the waste materials from its body. So in this way, the freshwater, okay, now this freshwater simple unicellular organisms remove the waste material. So different parts are present in different organisms, and different organs are involved in the excretory system. In multicellular organisms, if you see that they possess different types of excretory organs for removal of waste from their body. Okay, if you observe the multicellular organisms, there are different types of excretory organs to remove the waste from their body. The structural and functional complexity also increases. Structural and functional complexity also increases from the sponges to humans. The sponges and cylindrids do not have any special excretory organelles. What are those? Sponges and cylindrids. So the sponges and cylindrids do not have any special excretory organs in their body. Almost all their body is water bathed. All the body is water bathed. Okay, so that is about it. The first time we can see the excretory organs in the organisms like flatworms. What are those? Flatworms. Flagellantes. The first time we can observe the excretory organs in the flatworms, flagellantes it's known as flame cells. Okay? That is about different types of excretory organs that present in different organs. For example, I explained a very few about it. Platforms are the first organisms. There we can see the excretory organs, flame cells, named as flame cells. Okay? Now I am going to explain about different types of excretory organs present in different organisms. Okay? Okay, these are the other excretory organs, different types of excretory organs that present in the different organisms. Okay, so protozoa have simple diffusion, porifera, water baths, all the cells, platyhelminthes, flame cells. These are the first excretory organs that we see in the platyhelminthes, platforms. Nematoda, rennet cells, annelida, nephridia, arthropoda, green glands are Malphizian tubules, mollusca, metanephridia, the echinodermates, water vascular system, reptiles, aves, that means birds, and mammals. They have the kidneys. These are the different types of excretory organs that present in different types of organisms. Okay, in unicellular organisms there is no specific excretory organs. Okay, they remove the waste from their body by the process of simple diffusion. Amoeba and paramecium, they have the osmoregulatory organelle called contractile vacuole. Contractile vacuole collects the waste material and bulges, swells in its size, reaches to the cell surface, bursts and remove the waste from its body. So we can see the first time the platyhelminthes, the flame cells are the first excretory organs in the organisms. Now I am going to explain how do the plants excrete? How do the plants excrete? Do the plants excrete like the animals? Think about it. Do the plants which are present andromous in our surroundings, do they excrete like the animals? Then if it is not, what is the process? I will explain about the So we are amazed to answer such type of questions. We are amazed to answer such type of questions. How do the plants excrete? Either like the animals or is there any other process involved in it? Explain about it. So we have the 4 more question. How do the plants can get rid of the waste materials? We know very well different types of or a variety of end products are produced during the metabolism, during the metabolic activities, and nitrogenous wastes are very important. Do you understand that? A variety of substances are formed during the metabolic activities and the nitrogenous wastes are very important. When compared with the animals, the breakdown of waste materials in the plants takes very much slower rate. Breakdown of waste materials takes much slower rate than in animals. Hence, the accumulation of waste also very slower. When compared to the animals, the accumulation of waste is very slower because the breakdown of waste materials is much slower in plants than the animals. Because of that, accumulation of waste is also very less. Do you understand this? So, what are the parts? So, excretion. Accumulation of waste is very slow. Here, how the plants manage these waste materials. In the previous classes, we discussed that plants which do not possess the chlorophyll and the green plants in the dark night release the carbon dioxide and water. During the respiration process, oxygen also considered as waste material which emitted by the plants during the photosynthesis. Okay, na? Okay? The plants, the green plants in the night time and the plants which does not possess the chlorophyll produce or release carbon dioxide and water during the process of respiration. And the oxygen also released by the plants during the photosynthesis. Considered it is also a waste material. Now how these gases are get rid of from the plant body? They exist from the plant body through the stomata in the leaves or the lenticels on the stem. Lenticels on the stem. So in this method, the plants can get rid of the gaseous waste. Do you understand that? So the gaseous waste is get rid of from the plant's body through the stomata and lenticels on the stem. Then think about that. The plants can get rid of the excess of water by the process called transpiration or guttation. Okay, plants can get rid of excess of water by the process transpiration and guttation. Plants can store the waste materials. Plants store the waste materials in their body parts like leaf, stem, root, and fruit. Okay, now plants store the waste materials in their leaf, stem, or bark or root. Bark also. Bark. Okay, plants store their waste materials in this leaf, stem, and bark. Especially these three. So when the dead leaves and the barks and the ripened fruits fall off from the tree, okay, plant can get rid of these waste materials, nitrogenous waste materials. Once again, plants store the waste materials in the plants can store the waste materials in the parts, leaf, stem, and bark. When these dead leaves or the bark or ripened fruits fall off from the tree, plants can get rid of these waste materials. Plants store the waste materials in the fruits in the form of solid bodies called raphides. Solid bodies called raphides. Okay, plants store the waste materials in the fruits in the form of solid bodies called raphides. Do you understand this? So, raphides, when these fruits fall off from the plant, it can get rid of its excess of waste. However, plants synthesized different types of materials or different types of compounds for their own use, especially for the defense. To protect itself from the surrounding organisms. You understand? However, plants synthesize many of these compounds, especially for their own use. That is defense. What is that? Defense. The materials are the products synthesized by these plants, stored in the different parts of the plant body. Okay, different parts of the plant body. The chemicals which are present in the stems, roots, or the leaves of the plant, okay, these are unpleasant to eat to the herbivore animals. Plants synthesize the chemicals. That means the compounds. The compounds may contain the chemicals. That chemicals are unpleasant to eat. So the components are unpleasant, the chemicals are unpleasant to eat to herbivorous animals. So it protects itself from the herbivorous animals. And sometimes these components may be very toxic chemicals. Even it kills the organisms which eat it. You understand that? Sometimes these organisms, that means these chemicals are very poisonous. It may kill the animal which eat that plant. The example is castor bean. Castor bean, a poisonous castor bean. It's a plant. It is 1,000 times, that means 1,200 times more poisonous than the snake bite. Castor bean is a type of plant which secretes the chemicals, very toxic chemicals. It is almost 1,200 times. 100 times more poisonous than the snake bite. Whether whoever the animal it eats, it may kill or it may die within the minutes. Do you understand that? So plant secretes these components. So some of them are chemicals. So the chemicals protect these animals from the herbivorous animals, and it also releases some type of chemicals which are useful for healing of. These are toxic chemicals is there, and some chemicals are useful for healing of wounds, healing of wound. Okay, some chemicals are useful for the healing of the wound. Whenever the plant branches are cut down or eaten by the other animals, at that time some of the chemicals are released and they are helpful in the healing of the wound. At the same time, the plants produces attractants. So the plants produce the attractants. Attractants, some of the chemicals which are useful for attracting the organism, like insects or other animals or microorganisms, for their pollination or dispersal of seed or even for their nutrition. Do you understand this? For the pollination purpose, it has to attract the butterflies, insects. Okay, for the exchange of pollen grains. And at the same time, for the nutrition purpose also. Okay, so the leaves, the plant which have the nodule-like roots, root nodules. The plants which have the root nodules, they release a type of attractant in the soil or into their surroundings to attract the rhizobium bacteria, and it makes this symbiotic relationship with the bacteria, because the plants cannot take the nitrogen from the atmosphere directly, but rhizobium bacteria, it can respire that, it can take and give to the plant. Because of that, there are root nodules of peas and beans, leguminous plants. Leguminous plants, they live with the symbiotic relation with the rhizobium bacteria. So these are the different types of secretions.